Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a full face of makeup that my grandpa picked out. So obviously he doesn't know anything about makeup, so I kind of just gave him 3 or 4 of each category and he chose some out. So let's go ahead and just hop right into the video.
What's this for?
Bronzer.
I know, but what?
Tan you up so you don't look so.
Oh man, I should have some of this myself.
Concealer.
What's this?
Bring your under eyes to cover your dark circles.
Ooh, I should get some of this. Look at those big circles I got. Rose gold.
Alright.
I just like the way it sounds.
Powder. Those are contour.
And what do?
Make your cheekbones stand out.
Really? I should wear some of this.
So you got drugstore, high-end drugstore.
Think how good looking I would have been if I would have known about this stuff.
Cheekbones, yeah.
What we got here?
That is foundation.
And what's the purpose of this?
Cover up your face.
I definitely need this.
So this is more expensive.
Let's go cheap.
Okay.
Then you'll smell like a cucumber.
It does. So none of these are new products. They're just items I had in my makeup collection. I just chose some stuff randomly. Alright, for eyeshadow primer, I've got the Wet n Wild Photo Focus eyeshadow primer. I don't mind this primer, it just doesn't cover up my discoloration on my eyes. I'm more into the MAC Painterly Paint Pot. Now that we're primed, the palette he chose out, Jackie Aina x Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. Here it is. I definitely really like this palette. And since it's not a review or anything, I'm just gonna go ahead and do a quick little look with it. Alright, I did choose simple colors because I do have a glitter chosen out. He chose the Tarte Stay Glass in the shade Sweet Life, which is like a kind of like bronzy color. Put that on the eyes. I'm going to take that credit color again and just make sure they're blended. And he did give us a liner, Voluminous Lash Paradise in Rose Gold. I think I'm going to try to use this like right here after the foundation, so I'm going to wait for that. Go ahead and go on to primer. He chose the Too Faced Major Hangover Replenishing Face Primer. I really like this stuff since I have dry skin. And I always have to remember a little of this goes a long way. And I love that it smells like coconut. And for foundation, he chose out the L'Oreal Infallible Up to 24 Hour Fresh Wear. And when I was showing him the products, I was letting him know what was high-end, what was drugstore. So he did know that. And I told him with like the primer, oh, this one's dewy, this one's matte, things like that. So I did give him some insight when he was choosing the products. I'm pulling this in. I'm gonna grab my brush. That Morphe sponge again, I just don't think I like it. It's just a little stiff for my liking. I do really like this foundation. I'm going to take my sponge and just go over it and make sure it's all blended and smooth. I think I'm gonna trade it out for a different sponge. There we go. For concealer, I've got the Revlon new Photo Freddy Candid Concealer, and I actually do really enjoy this concealer. It's got kind of like a yellowish hint in it, so it helps correct the darkness under my eyes, which I do appreciate. And I like the applicator as well. I'm gonna spray some Hurricane Dehydrating Primer Mist on my sponge just for my under eyes. So they're a little dry, just so my concealer doesn't look super cracked and cakey. And for powder, he chose a drugstore classic, the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder. Got mine in the shade Fair. So I'm gonna get a little bit of that, bake the under eye. Basically any place I know that I'm going to crease. And then I'm just going to take a little bit more and just dab it all over the forehead and everywhere else. For brows, he chose out my favorite, the Morphe Brow Pencil in the shade Hazelnut. It's one of my go-to brow pencils. I like this brow pencil because it's not super waxy, and a lot of the drugstore ones are. And I believe this is only like $6, so for it to not be waxy is like amazing. The brows are all. Alright, what should we do next? Let's go ahead and kick that powder off. Under eye doesn't look great, but that's kind of my fault. I forgot to put moisturizer under my eyes. I'm gonna take whatever I got on the brush and make sure everything else is set. For bronzer, I've got the BH Cosmetics Brilliance Bronzer in Golden Gal. Just gonna bronze up the face with this. I love this bronzer. Makes you look tan, which I am here for. For blush, he chose out the Blushing in Bali. I'm just going to be using the blushes in this because it's a blush and highlighter palette. I'm just going to be using the blushes. I'm going to go ahead and use the first color, Lychee. I really love this palette. I definitely love a pinky blush. Throw a little on my nose. And for highlighter, he chose one of my favorites, which is the Rachel Loves Pixie palette. If you've been watching me, you already know I love this palette. I'm just going to go in with some Colette and Lace. This one and this one. And I like this palette because you can build it up or you can do subtle. It's basically just whatever you want to do. And you already know that I want to build it up. That's just who I am. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a smaller brush so I can throw some on the brow bone in the inner corner. Putting lace in the inner corner and on the brow bone. Pretty. Alright, let's go ahead and finish the under eye and use that eyeliner. I'm just going to go real lightly in with the first shade. I use Ginger. And then I'm going to take this rose gold eyeliner and just put a little bit right there. Hopefully that looks okay. Drag it a little more And then for mascara, he chose the Maybelline Total Temptation. Obviously, I like it. It is dirty, used, and abused. It's almost out, actually. I like this mascara because, you know, it separates them, gives you length, volume. I really like this mascara. Alright, and then we have lips. So he chose me out a red lip liner, red lip. I'm gonna line my lips with the Petal Palette lip liner in Cherry by Flower Beauty. And I really like the lip liners. They're nice and creamy, so if you really wanted to, you could fill in your whole lips with them. I've got the L'Oreal Paris. I think they're called the Color Rich Signature or something. It looks like that. And it's in the shade I Represent. I actually really enjoy the I really like these, as I said. And lastly, I've got the Wet n Wild Cucumber 3-in-1 Primer Water. You can prep, set, and refresh with this. Here is the final look. I definitely like the look. I like the makeup that he chose out, other than that Wet n Wild primer I'm not very fond of anymore. But the look turned out really good. Yeah. Comment down below who you think I should have pick out my makeup next, and while you're at it, go ahead and like the video and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.